a group called Save Our Sankaty, SOS, very good. And a local Sconseteers, as we call them, and they got together, I would say, maybe within a year of the No Name storm, and the famous, that year of 1991 was a weather year, because we had Hurricane Bob in August, and then in October, right around Halloween, we had the No Name storm, the perfect storm. And this group, maybe a year later, got together because it was pretty evident that erosion had started to really pick up on the east shore of Nantucket, but particularly in Sconset.
Well, the lighthouse was originally where those benches are there, and it was up a little higher because this ground has been excavated out just to make the access to the lighthouse easier. But originally that lighthouse was 260 feet from the edge of the bluff, and when the lighthouse got moved, it was something like 75 or 78. It had lost a lot of bluff.
So they, I can remember some of the names, but I know that Gene Horn, who was involved with the Sconset Trust and the Civic Association, was sort of the ringleader, and Kit and Phil Aaronsburg were involved, and Rob Benchley was, and some other folks. And they said, we got to figure out what we're going to do about Sankaty, the lighthouse, if and when the day comes that it gets close to that edge and is ready to topple over. So what I believe they did initially was to go to the NHA and say, hey, can you help us? Do you think this would be worth starting an effort to raise money to save the lighthouse and really talk about relocating it inland from where it's been since 1850. I don't know if they knew that, but I knew that. So that predates my involvement by at least 10 years. My involvement came when I joined the Sconset Trust as a board member, and before I knew it, I was head of the board. I was trying to mind my own business, but somebody said, you're in charge. So we had a committee, a lighthouse committee, that was looking at this Sconset icon and how we were going to address the issue. It wasn't a question of if, it was more a question of when.
People started paying attention to the fact that the erosion was getting a little more and more severe.
We were told by the engineers that once the bluff got to a specific distance away from the base of the lighthouse, we should make the decision to move it. We could wait, but the cost to do it would go up exponentially. The engineering would be more complicated, and we could get to a point, if we had a 10-foot loss in a single storm, where we couldn't move it. So in 2006, I said, we're going to move it. We were at the casino, we had 250 people standing room only, and we said, today's the day that we make the decision. We're going to move the lighthouse, and we're going to ask all of you to give us money to support this effort, because this is a privately funded effort. The government's not involved, the local municipality's not involved, and we think it's important not only to people in Sconset, but to people in Nantucket and people that don't even live on Nantucket who come to visit. It really is one of the top tourist destination points on the island. So fast forward to October 1st of 2007. That's the date. We had already prepped the eventual settling place for the lighthouse with a big foundation, and so we knew where we were starting, we knew where we were going to end, we didn't know how long it would take. October 1st was a beautiful, sunny, warm day, and hundreds of people showed up.
They wanted somebody who could document the moving of it, and being somewhat of a photojournalist, I thought that would be a great opportunity. And there were really no rules from the people that were moving the lighthouse, except I had to always wear my hard hat and stay out of the way. So I was just free to roam practically anywhere. Even when they were moving it, they'd let me go up into the top and take pictures shooting down. And so that 11 days of the move itself became its own organic little being that with the lighthouse and with the photography and the story that was just making itself while it was happening.
It was really amazing watching them move this lighthouse. I mean, they literally lifted it up. They punched some big holes in the bottom of it and put some steel beams through and actually lifted it up. And they built a railroad with I-beams, and they would move the lighthouse 6 feet at a time down the railway, and then they'd pick up the rails they were just on, put them on the front, and push it down. It was very Egyptian.
I think it was sort of, it takes a village. I mean, there were a whole lot of people locally involved, and I remember Claudette stayed open to serve sandwiches to people who were going out to the lighthouse, and again, there were people who were donating from Nantucket, and there were people who were donating from California and from all over the country, and it was, the whole experience was uplifting. There was nothing negative about it. There was nothing political about it. It just felt so good. And at the end of the day, when it was planted, I actually was permitted to get up in the machinery that was moving the lighthouse and do the last inch. And the guys from International Chimney yelled, "That's enough!" I didn't see it. I was in the truck, but that was okay because I felt it was kind of special for me.